from the south side.
Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts, the thoughts. My story is one of courage, facing fear, introducing ideas, concepts a lot of cats don't wanna hear. I say this verse for the faithful few, and so you understand me clear. I never made a bragging record in my life, but I feel compelled to share the fact that I feel I rap better than y'all. That's neither here nor there. Just know that I'm telling the truth every time that I'm in the booth, providing a burden to prove. Every time I testify how gangster is that. Tap tap like Gregory Hines on the track, double tap blowing your mind like a cat with a strap. All over the place like cumulus clouds out of nowhere, focused on you between your eyes as you stare at a creation of God, but you don't care really. I look at the scenario in reverse like I'm parking a whip, but don't trip that I have a different opinion that won't fit or match your definition. Fear is not my position, like I said at the top, but he's besties with sucker MCs who want to believe the opposite. But how gangster is staying true, how gangster is believing in you, how gangster is catching the flu. Lyrically sick for so many years, you forget certain eras where pretenders became kings, puppets who had strings and think that they're Death Stars. But what's a Death Star to an X-Wing? Death Star meaning the soul of an artist suppressed for the sake of success. X-Wing torpedo is a lyrical dart, X-Wing is the underground and the torpedo's the art. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts of a gangster. Frank White, the desperado, the all-black El Dorado. The thoughts, the thoughts. My motives have been clear from the start. Would often lose my way whenever things got dark. I became comfortable in the shadow. A closed fist receives no blessing. A closed fist can either punch or paddle, but this boat remains deep in Manure Creek. I chose to speak, prayer was deep. I levitated out of the boat, moved to south side to challenge some of the goats, so I could be one of the goats, if not the goat. But it so happened to be authenticity is not a prerequisite for a meal. Being real will not guarantee you a deal. So how gangster is sticking with it, how gangster is staying committed, how gangster is knowing your team since 14 and never omitted ugly parts of the story in any verse I ever submitted. How gangster is family first, and how much is your loyalty worth? I'm speaking on the culture here, barking on the vultures here, while staying 10 toes to the earth. So in the spirit of Frank White, I'ma play the back, weapon in hand, way in the back of this New York taxi, right in the back seat, M.O.E.T. Peace.